So you want to go to Europe, but you're not quite sure how to start your planning? Here's how to do it. And make sure you watch to the end of the video because I have something extra that's gonna help you with your planning, and it's free. First things first, you're gonna need to figure out your budget. How much do you want to spend in total on this entire trip? This is super important because it's gonna help you with all of your future decisions on where to go, where you're gonna stay, and what you're gonna do. Whether you want to spend $1,000 or $15,000, get that number nailed down. Next, determine how long you want your trip to be. Is it 5 days or 4 weeks? Things like how long you can take off work and how much your budget is going to help you determine the optimal trip length for you. Very generally speaking, in case you need a reference number, I would say you're gonna need at least $1,000 per person per week for a trip to Europe. That being said, if you're gonna be living the backpacker lifestyle, you can definitely decrease that number, or you can spend lots more depending on when you go and where you wanna stay, things like that. But as a general reference, plan to have at least $1,000 per week per person. Okay, now you know your budget and how long your trip is gonna be. So now you need to figure out what kind of trip you want this to be. There is absolutely anything you could ever want to do in Europe, whether that be skiing or beach time or city exploring. So you need to figure out what kind of trip you want yours to be, and that will help you to determine ultimately where you're gonna go on your trip. So do you want sun and beach the whole time? Do you want to be seeing all the major sites in all the cities? Do you want to be exploring the countryside? Know what kind of trip you want, and if it's a mix of it all, that's fine too. Just have an idea of what this trip is gonna be. Once you figured that out, now it's time to figure out where you want to go. Europe is absolutely huge, so you need to be realistic as to where you can go, considering your budget and how much time that you have for your trip. My rule of thumb is to spend at least 2 nights in every destination that you go to. That way you don't get completely burnt out from traveling, you don't waste a bunch of time sitting on buses and trains and planes, and you also actually get to explore every place that you're in. You can't really do that in a day. So make a list of the places that you definitely want to visit that will fit into what type of trip you are planning, and only choose to actually visit the ones that you can realistically fit into your schedule and stay in for at least 2 nights. Finally, who do you want to travel with? Your significant other, your friends, or do you want to just go by yourself? If you're going to be traveling with anybody else, make sure that you vet them before you commit to booking this humongous trip with them. Just because you two are good friends or even married doesn't mean that you're going to get everything out of this trip that you want if you travel with them. To make a good travel buddy, you need to usually be on the same page with 3 things. 1 is budget, 2 is the type of trip that you want this to be, so what I just talked about before, and 3 is the pace of your trip. Do you want to constantly be up early in the morning, seeing all the sights, getting all those activities in, or do you want this to be a very leisurely trip where you wake up when you want to, visit things as you can, and just relax and have a nice time? If you're on the same page with those 3 things, you're pretty much good to go and should have a great trip together. To help you plan out your Euro trip even more, I've created a free ebook which includes everything that I just talked about and more, plus a worksheet that's gonna help you map out your perfect trip. So click the link down in the description box or the one that's popping up right over here to download my free Europe trip planning ebook. So do it right now. Click the link. It's free, why not? And don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I have a lot more tips for planning your Europe trip coming your way soon. See you in the next video.